how Toastmasters help people to fulfill their human needs for survival and connection. I think there's a little humor in there somewhere. Sylvia Becker-Hill.
No, it's okay.
Oh, okay.
Madam President, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome first-timers and guests. I start with a question for all of you to ponder. In how many worlds do you think, as a human being, you exist? In one, in two, or in many? And depending on how you look at it, your answer will be different. So there's no wrong or right answer. For tonight's speech, I will focus on 2 worlds. On how many worlds I will focus on? 2. You got it. The first world is a really very human world. It's a heavy material world. And some of you already know I'm known as the lady with the brain, because I am hardly ever seen in public or at networking events without my brain. Because I have a background in neuroscience, so I like to explain nearly everything in my life through neuroscience. So when I got the invitation to speak and share why I'm a member of Toastmasters, I looked at my brain and asked myself, okay brain, explain me, what does Toastmasters has to do with you? And it answered. So our brain, even though, please touch it for a moment, that you all know what we are talking about, here, behind your forehead, what you feel, behind your skin, behind a tiny bit of flesh, behind your scalp, there is your brain. And this brain, even though we have officially the year 2014, is still wired as it was to caveman time and cave girl time. Since 25,000 years, the construction of our most important organ has never changed. That's interesting. So, from a human perspective, the most important need our brain wants to see fulfilled is survival. You got it. 100 gummy points here for this man. Safety. The brain is committed to your safety. And I keep it open for the moment. What that has to do with Toastmasters? That is the first question I want you to keep in mind. The first, most existential human need is safety. But as you all hopefully know, we are not just meat, right? We are not just biology. There's something else in us. Some call it spirit. Some call it soul. Whatever your belief system is, you have a different name for it. But there's something which we can't touch, which is not tangible, but we all feel filled with it. And that thing, let's call it for the moment our soul, and I don't mind if you call it spirit or differently, but this soul has a need too. And this soul, because the soul is eternal, it doesn't care about safety. It can't die, it lives forever, so safety is not an issue for the soul. But the soul craves what? Connection. Because when we are born, and little baby, coming to this planet, to this earth, we forget that we are connected. And again, everyone has a different belief system. Maybe you believe in God, or you believe in a divine power, or in the universe. I don't care how you call it. But there's a source where you are coming from. And your soul craves to remember that connection. And our brain is wired in such a way that we forget this connection. Look around the room. Every one of you think you are an individual. You are a single person. You end where your skin ends. This is what your brain is telling you. This is your human aspect. But maybe this disconnection, maybe this separation is just an illusion. So Toastmasters, for me, and I don't say this is right, I don't say this is written into stone, it's just my belief. Toastmasters, by teaching us how to communicate in such a way that we can connect from soul to soul, is fulfilling our biggest, deepest soul's need of connection, of bridging the seemingly separated thing, like I'm Sylvia, I end here, and there's Matt sitting, and there's Liz sitting. Through communication, through speaking our message, we create bridges. We connect not only between the members here in our club, but everywhere in the world. What you learn here doesn't end at the end of the Toastmasters meeting. You bring that into your business, you bring that into your family, everywhere you go. You create connection and you create bridges. And the amazing thing is, it's not only satisfying for the soul. The human brain, which craves for safety, is happy too. Because guess what? When people feel connected, they feel more safe. Connection, the sense of connection, creates safety. Why is that? Well, let's go back to caveman and cave girl times. To survive 25,000 years ago as Neanderthaliensis, you have to stay overnight in the cave, or you die. As a little side note, there's an amazing kids movie called The Crooks. It got second in the last Oscar nominations. I really highly recommend you watch this movie, because there it shows everything about our past and why humans resist change. Awesome movie. I love it as a mother, but even more as an executive coach. My clients have to watch that movie. So, as cavemen and women, as we still are from a biological perspective, we are only safe when we are together in the cave at night. And when we are rejected, when we experience animosities and conflicts, that means we are thrown out of the cave. And the saber-toothed tiger can come and kill us, or the thunder, or the coldness. So being connected creates ultimately peace, and because we are all feeling safe. So for all of you here in the room who are not yet Toastmasters members, I highly recommend you sign up to become one. Because being a Toastmasters member is not only satisfying your own brain's need for safety and your soul's need for connection. When you do a good job, not only inside the club, but in your world, you bring more safety and more connection into the world. This is why I'm a Toastmasters member, and I hope you join me in this movement.